I am very disappointed in Madden. Very, very disappointed in Madden. Pixel, they dropped my franchise mode. Miserable about Madden. I'm gonna rip into Madden a little later, so we're gonna chat about Madden. Don't you give up on me. I'm gonna definitely talk about some Madden because I told Eric on the ride here I had to talk about Madden today.
You could talk about Madden, but I haven't bought Madden in, like I said, got to be 5 or 6 years. When I bought it one time for the Wii, and just played on the Wii. It's not the same as playing it on other systems, so I never went and got another. So I mean, I can let you rant and rave if you want for a second on the Madden. You get your feelings out. Does it seem like it really upset you this morning?
You have no idea how much it upsets me. Look, Pixel Junkie, I feel you, man. I'm a Madden lover. Always have been, always will be. But you take away my franchise mode, and I'm very hesitant on whether or not I am willing to even go buy the game. Now, I know you can do this whole online, you pick a my player, or you can do, be a coach or be an existing player and play against your friends and all that, and that's freaking awesome. But you know what? One of my favorite things to do is doing fantasy drafts. You pick a whole bunch of teams, you build them up, you make them new, and you move over, and I'll take it. Like, literally, I'll build up a team. I'll spend about 5 seasons on them. And once I know they're really good, I switch over to a new team, the worst team in the league, and I spend about 5 seasons building them up. And I'll switch over, and it's so that way, like, you're never really playing with the same guys. You're doing different schemes. So one team that you're playing with is a 3-4 defense. The other team you play with is a 4-3. One team might be, in a fantasy draft, a team like New England might end up terrible. But with Belichick and the way the game is set up, they're a throw first team. So if you take over that team, your first thing you're looking for is a good quarterback, and then you want to get an offensive lineman because of how the team is already set up to run when you sim games. So I get really into it because it's almost like you're sitting there and you build up the team, you hope they win Super Bowls, and you move on to the next one. Now, obviously,
isn't that what fantasy football is, though? You pick your team, you build it, and you hope to win a championship?
Pretty much.
Same thing, but you don't use controllers, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And you have no control over it either. When you do a fantasy team, you don't control the players. Now, in Madden, like, think about it. Like, I'll put it this way, all right? Wait till next year, Pixel. Well, I've been waiting all year for this one, Pixel. Put it like this. All right, last year's Madden. I waited to end of the season. They do updated rosters where they, based on the year the players had, they increase their ratings or lower their ratings. So I did a fantasy draft last year. My team consisted of Cam Newton at quarterback. I had Dez Bryant and Julio Jones as my 2 wide receivers. Randall Cobb from Green Bay as my slot wide receiver. I took Jonathan Baldwin, who's a young wide receiver in Kansas City, only going into his second year this year. Moved him to a tight end spot. Drafted DeMarco Murray. So I had a really, really young team. But the way Madden does it, they give these guys in A, rating so they can get really good, or B rating and they only get so good, so on and so forth. So you load your team up with a bunch of A's, and then these guys are all 22 years old. So all of a sudden you have a team stacked for the next 10 years. And it's a lot of fun because you make them as good as you want. So I feed the ball to Dez Bryant and DeMarco Murray, being a Cowboy fan. So I feed that to them. Both of them are 99s after 3 years because I fed them the ball. It's fun because you get the opportunity to make your own team how you want to make it without sitting there and trading player by player and trying to figure all that. You just draft a team.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I kind of agree with Christina here in the chat room that we're kind of advertising for Madden here, but I don't know if I don't really have much to add on this topic.
See, and real quick, I understand what you're saying, and we'll move on back to the baseball playoff race, but I just wanted to throw this out real quick. Fife puts in the chat room, that you guys did a 3-person franchise offline in the same house. Right? Eric, me, and another friend did a 3-person franchise offline in the same house. That's the kind of stuff that's think about it. Me and you do a franchise, whether we do a fantasy draft or you're Giants, I'm Cowboys. Our goal in our franchise is to beat the other person, not only in the head-to-head games, But for me to get a Super Bowl and you not to get a Super Bowl.
Listen, I understand all that, and I have done that in the past. Don't get me wrong, but like I said, I only bought one Madden in the last 14 years. So, I mean, I don't have a lot to talk about with it.
Yeah, I'm very upset with it. I'm still debating on whether or not I'm going to get it. I'm not 100% sure. My girlfriend's adorable. She actually just texted me. She's like, hey, babe, the show's going great. You want me to get Madden for you when I get out of work? She's a great girlfriend. But I don't know if I want to buy it or not. $65 for a game that I don't know if I'm going to love is sort of... They set record numbers yesterday with returns for Madden, though. That's how many people are upset about the franchise mode not being in it. They set record numbers for returns of the game. Because I don't need it. I don't want it. I played Madden 12 last night instead of my Madden 13 demo because I was so pissed. But that's besides the point. I'm done talking about Madden.